here because we're going to come across some times where we're going to play some games with these. So I see a negative. I don't want to automatically assume that whenever I see a negative, it's an I problem. All right, because this negative is on the outside of the radical. That's fine. Okay, that doesn't cause me any problems. It's when it's under the radical that I have to deal with this I. So this negative is just going to float out in front of my answer. It's not going to do anything with an I because there's no negative 1 in here. So the factors of 12 are 1 and 12, all right, and 3 and 4 that have perfect squares. The 4 is the one I want, so that's my guy. So radical 4, radical 3. Radical 4 is 2, so it's negative 2, radical 3. And again, remember what I'm doing here is the negative has to be under the radical for the I to come into play. All right, then if I go over here, it's the same idea, but now it has a negative in both spots. You cannot cancel these, all right, because in terms of the order of operations, exponents becomes before multiplying. And when you take two negatives that are next to each other and put them together and get a positive, you're actually multiplying negative 1 times negative 1. All right, so you can't do that here. So this negative is going to float out in front. Then you're going to have 12 and negative 1. That's going to give you an I. So there's my I. And then I just did the 12. So I know that it's radical 4, radical 3, which is negative 2. Don't forget your I. There it is, negative 2I, radical 3. So this is a good example of what changes when the number under the radical changes from positive to negative. The only difference is the I. All right, when you have a negative under a radical, you get an I in your final answer. That's really the only difference between negative and positive radical.